Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's UNC Pembroke Game of the Week. We're here to recap and replay UNC Pembroke Soccer's game against Columbus State from September 28th as they kicked off Peach Belt Conference play on Parents and Families Weekend. We're going to get the game started, but first let's introduce our special guest here with us this evening, Riley Searing, Katie Ryan, and her twin sister, Gina Ryan. All three of them will be joining us here on the broadcast this evening. Please make sure to submit your questions, comments to them, to me as well. I'm Bull Slavin, Assistant Athletic Director for Marketing Partnerships, and we'll be taking you through the Braves' win versus Columbus State Cougars. Again, make sure to submit your questions at UNCP_sports on all forms of social media. Questions can be submitted on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Jen Smith is here, our Director of Fan Engagement, making sure that we get all of your questions answered as best we can throughout the evening. So now the introductions have been made, let's go ahead and let's get this game started.
First visiting.
So as both teams get set to get going, Columbus State just breaking their huddle now. UNC Pembroke already ready to go at center circle. Ladies, start of Peach Belt Conference play. Obviously a lot of expectations. You guys hold yourselves to high expectations every year, team goals. What kind of are you guys thinking heading into Peach Belt Conference play here? You've already had a pretty good non-conference slate thus far, and now you're heading into Peach Belt Conference play against one of the toughest opponents in the Peach Belt Conference perennially and traditionally. Kind of take us through your mind, your thought process here. Obviously two senior captains, and then Riley, you up front, obviously having a high impact this season, leading the team in goals. So what's your kind of thought process as you're getting ready to take on such a powerhouse of a program?
Well, we know that they're traditionally super good, and I think this was one of those games where we had a whole week to prepare before we got to play them. So all of our practices were really focused on how to play against their styles. Lars has been coaching since they're coaching. We know how they play, so we've been working on how to counter that.
It's also been a big deal for us every year, just being able to go against a team with such a high demand and a very good technical team, and being able to perform at their level. And it's always good to see how we can play against these teams.
Obviously, you guys played very well against this team here today. A very tough test to get things going. Another hot one. It seems to always be strong weather conditions when you're taking on Columbus State. And a lot of Peach Belt Conference schools, just the way that the weather works out here in Southeast North Carolina to kick off the season. But obviously, you started the game with we mixed it up on you. We had a local youth soccer team, the Pembroke Soccer Association, actually come join you guys for the national anthem to kind of hold your hands for that. Not to mention it's Parents and Families Weekend. You have a good crowd here for a very good game as parents, not only of UNCP soccer, but of UNCP football. We're here as well as it was Parents and Families Weekend across the board for us. What does the crowd mean to you, and kind of inspiring that younger generation, getting to meet them before a big game and kind of having that impact and being able to influence them? What does that mean to you of having that fan support from Brave Nation, and then also getting to see what the future of Brave Nation may be by them standing beside you for the national anthem?
I think it's huge. I think the fans add a whole other element to like every game. The more fans you have, it's more fun to play. I think everybody plays better when there's more people watching. I think having the younger students or younger players there with us is just helping to build more of a soccer community in that area, be able to build a strong soccer program, and hopefully one day they'll end up playing for Pembroke and make Pembroke even better than it is today.
For the Braves, obviously Gina Ryan is in goal for Columbus State. Bria Ranchero is in goal for them. A good matchup here, but obviously, Gina, you've kind of set the bar for the entire Peach Belt, and as Riley heads into the last year of the Peach Belt Conference, obviously tough test. There's some very good keepers in the league, but you've now broken the record and set the record for shutouts. What does that kind of legacy mean for you, for the Braves, and obviously for your own legacy as well? Kind of having that impact on the program and on the Peach Belt Conference as a whole.
I think it's huge. I think when I came here and was recruited here, we had a huge history of great goalkeepers that have played for Pembroke. I met one of the All-Americans my freshman year, and she was there for preseason for us for a couple days. And I think that kind of set the tone for my whole career, just making sure I want to be as best as I can be and work every practice to get better. And just leaving my mark on the school and the Peach Belt Conference is just huge to me. I think huge to the team. Just having that be a part of Pembroke's history is awesome.
And Katie, obviously you're, Gina's back line. You're right next to her, and obviously you two are not shy about getting into it during a game, and everybody saw the passion between you two of making sure that everybody was on their mark and where they're supposed to be. What is having your sister, and obviously coming to college with your sister, you grew up playing with her, what does it mean for you to play with her beyond the back line and then see all of her success and be able to kind of pick you guys up and make some extremely tough saves when you guys are kind of feeling the pressure of a game?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I know what she's capable of, so I know when I make a mistake that there's a good chance Gina can clean it up or even bring in our other defenders. And having her, we don't have a limit with each other, so she can say anything she wants. I'm going to take it. I can say anything I want to her. We kind of take it. We'll adjust from it, but we don't, have a fit from it, get mad at each other the next day. Like, it's just in the moment of the game. We both want to do the best we can and win, so we're going to say what we're going to say in order to help that. And I think it just helps because it does kind of relate to the rest of the team. Like, I think anyway, when Gina yells at me really hard, I think the other defenders and everybody else will kind of step up when they see, that kind of reaction come out of her. So I think it helps the whole team in the end.
We have our first question coming in from our Instagram account. As a reminder, please submit your questions to Gina, Katie, Riley, and myself if you have them. Our first question is coming from Instagram, and it's from your teammate, Kennedy Rucker. She wants to know how she can become a beast like all of y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I think Kennedy's already a beast. She's the starting freshman center back who helps us whole season. She's going to make a name for herself, and that's super exciting. I think Kennedy brings energy to a team that, everyone loves. I don't think anyone would ever complain. And to be honest, to answer Kennedy's question, I already think that she's on her way to be a beast, and she just needs to keep doing what she's doing and keep showing everyone how to act like her, I guess, because she's just one of the happiest people on the team.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's already on her way to the beast, and she kind of is already one. She's played every game, almost every single minute, I'm pretty sure. Center back, I'm freshman, that's pretty big already, so keep doing what you're doing, Kennedy.
38, 13, 12, 11, 10 left in the first half as the Braves and Cougars are knotted at 0. You talked about Kennedy coming in and making an impact as a freshman. Obviously, Gina and Katie, both of y'all did that as well. What is the pace like of soccer compared to high school going into the Peach Belt Conference, one of the toughest in the region, and really our region in general. Obviously, moving into the Conference Carolinas in 2021, but still the region teams, they're no slouches. What is it like transitioning from high school soccer or club soccer into this competitive of Division II soccer?
I think the transition can be either difficult or people are just naturally able to transition into it. I mean, for me, my experience is definitely a harder transition. I mean, just being able to have the work ethic like everyone has had on the team, that was the hardest part for me. But just like for the love of the game, I think most people will work as hard as they can to be able to succeed in the transition. I mean, some people have it naturally and some people have to work harder for things, but at the end of it, no matter what, I think everyone's going to be able to transition into the game that they love.
I agree. I think transitioning from like our high school, we went to a small 2A high school, and you go to college into one of the top Division II conferences. The speed of play was so much different, and the amount of touches that like players in the field could take, you don't see a player just dribbling through 10 players to get to a goal or anything. It's a lot of more passing, moving the ball around, and I know as me for a goalkeeper, it was a little more stressful just watching everything go so much faster in front of me that I wasn't used to. So it was fun joining into a faster, more, I guess, exciting pace of soccer.
In this game, Columbus State wants to be getting 11 shots. 6 of them are on goal. The Braves with 14 shots, 4 of them on goal. We'll get to see some of that action here later on. Corners were heavily in Columbus State's favor. Columbus State wound up having 12 corners in this game compared to the Braves' 2. But obviously one of them comes late that I vividly remember a key corner from Katie late in this one that we'll talk about as we get closer to it. But talking about, as we see our first corner here from the Cougars, talking about kind of that possession, and you know how fast-paced the Cougars are and how explosive they can be with opportunities, and obviously 12 corner kick opportunities for them. What was your mindset and kind of what was your approach to maintain them, as they had some decent opportunities in this game that they couldn't capitalize on? A big part of them not being able to capitalize was obviously because of everybody on your team getting back to defend. But talk a little bit about your approach there and kind of your mindset dealing with that amount of pressure just constantly being put on y'all.
When we go into this game, the coach already tells us, we already know that offensively they're going to be the stat leaders for this game. We know that they're going to take way more shots, they're going to have more corners, even possess the ball for more of the game than us. So our goal is just to not let up, try to not make any mistakes, and when you do, you have to try your best to make up for it and get back. You just don't want to lose our ground, and when we have those counter opportunities, we just have to capitalize as best we can, because we're not going to get the 14 shots that they get. We're only going to get a couple, like 5 shots maybe the most, so we have to make sure we're going to finish on at least 2. But I think when we play a tougher competition, defensively we're trying to play a little more safe than doing things that may not work, or may work against other lower caliber teams, but against Columbus State, you're taking the safe way out, do what's going to help us get to the end of the game and hopefully win the game. So I think you'll see a lot of these corners are happening because of this hard effort, and we're going to try to block these shots. And it's the ricochets off of blocking shots, instead of trying maybe to settle a ball at our feet and try to clear it, one-time clearance or one-time out of bounds kind of thing.
And we have our next question in from, again, our Instagram account. As a reminder to everyone watching, please make sure to submit your questions at UNCP_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Director of Fan Engagement Jen Smith is here, and we are going to do our best to get all of them to Katie, Gina, and Riley throughout this evening and throughout this match. As the Braves are taking on the Columbus State Cougars, knotted at 0 with 32-28 left in the first half of this one. Here is the next question again from our UNCP Instagram account. What is the biggest lesson learned that you wish you knew before college soccer? So what is the biggest lesson learned that you wish you knew before entering college soccer?
Before I entered college soccer, I think I probably, like Gina said, would have wanted to know, like, come high school, everyone's the best. Like, when you get on a team and you're recruited, it's the best of the best of everyone from high school. So coming into college, like, you just want to know, like, you might be one of the average best players, I guess you could say, but I would have just wanted to know just the amount of work you have to put in, and you have to understand, like, you're not going to be the best anymore. You're going to have to work for it, and you're going to have to understand that when you get on a team like this, like, everyone is wanting to perform at the highest level, and that's probably the one thing I would have wanted to know, just how much effort it takes and how much, hey, Gina, how much effort it takes and how much, what's the word? I don't know how to, just pretty much I would want to know how much work ethic I would have needed, and I think that would have helped me tremendously my freshman year.
I think I agree with that same thing. It's just the amount of work that you're going to have to put in to try to earn your time and playing time on the field and everything. Everyone's good. You guys all wear, your best on your high school team. You have to come in knowing that all these girls, your sophomores, your juniors and seniors, they've been here and they know the program, and you're just going to have to try to, work your way into that and adapt to that. And it's kind of like a lot of the behind-the-scenes work that goes beyond just your practices and your mandatory stuff. But what do you do besides that that's going to help you, I think, the most? I think for me the biggest thing for just my position on top of what they said, because I think everything they said is true. I would add, I think in high school I didn't make as many mistakes. I never let it get ahead of me. I never got a lot of goals scored on me. And then when I came in as a freshman, I don't know what game it was. I had a game where I had 4 goals, and then the next game was 3 goals on me, and then 4 goals on me. It was this section of where I guess I lost confidence in myself. And I think from that I was able to learn that you can make a mistake and it's okay. Come back out of it. It's more what you do after you make the mistake versus, I guess, just dwelling on it. So to me, that was the biggest lesson I learned from my freshman year coming into college.
Yeah, and you all are very well coached, obviously, on it, to where you mentioned kind of the work ethic you have to put in to not only make it into the starting lineup, but really even make it into the match at all. But on top of that, having the ability to make a mistake, and obviously you don't want to make too many of them, but having the ability to make a mistake and knowing that the amount of work that's being put in around you to recover as Bree streaks up the right side again. Her second opportunity, this one winds up getting taken away by the Cougars' back line. Well, what does that mean to have such strong teammates around you? Obviously, constantly recruiting and constantly working to make the team better. What does it mean for you guys? You've watched this program adding 2 stars to your shield in your 4 years here, Katie and Gina. Riley, obviously you've been a part of both of those as well. What does that mean for you guys to know that you're continually making the program better, and that although the program was strong when you got here, you feel like you've left it at a better place than when you arrived?
I think that's kind of the goal for us coming into the program. I think every time you go into a team, no matter what level it is, you want to make sure that you're leaving it better for the next generation of players to come through. You want to make Pembroke one of the top teams in the region, and I think we've done that in our 4 years, and I think it's been known that we're a tough team even before we got here. So I think that's just a huge goal, is to come into a program and
try to change it, make it better, and leave it better off than it was before. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we first come in, Lars makes a good point of telling us that we're, a championship program and we're going to do well and win. And I think just the older girls and everything, it's a support system and they're going to push you to do your best. And it just makes the whole team better in the end.
I also think that, even starting the 2 mile, Coach gives us our famous speech before the 2 mile and just sets the standard for us and tells us, we're going to do this and we're going to perform this year, we're going to make a name of some people. And like I said, 3 years of mine and this last year, the last year of the Peach Belt, we put our names out there. People know who Pembroke is and people know that we're ready to play and we're ready to show that we can compete in this conference. And having one more year in this conference, I think everyone coming this fall is ready to show the Peach Belt that we can earn another star one last time.
Obviously, referring back to that 2-miler where Brave Soccer has a fun tradition where they kick off the season each year with their midnight practice. Call it a practice, it's really just a midnight run. But Braves kick that off every year. One of the fun things to really start with the team bonding and start with the expectation for the year. We always ask this every year, but is there a 2-mile time that you guys specifically remember, like one of your teammates running or yourself running? Obviously, my first year attending the 2-miler, obviously we film Lars' speech every year, right, at the 2-miler. One of my first memories was Carly Rochelle and just how quick she was for a 2-miler. Is there a time like that sticks out to you guys, or one that you were really proud of heading into it and coming out of it?
I would say, junior year, when we were running it, I was in the front with Yona, who was our new transfer coming in. And so she was a new face, so I was like, okay, let's see how long this can go for. I think, we're battling each other the whole way. And then once we hit that last lap, I don't know how she did it, but she had a burst of energy and she sprinted a good 50 yards ahead. I said, you know what? You got that one. She got first, and I think that was probably one of the more fun times, was just being there.
Hard to forget the 2-mile exists. I'm a goalkeeper, not me.
I think Bree Mason was probably one of the best 2-mile runners. She always has some interesting runs. I mean, you see her on the first 3 laps booking it, and then the 4th lap, she might be thrown up real quick and running at the same time. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
People put in the work for that 2-mile, and they love to show what they put in over the summer, and I think Bree Mason definitely made it a little more interesting.
A question that we had come in from a soccer parent for all of the, I guess, younger, which this has changed a little bit from what I've read as far as rules for this, but does it hurt to head the ball?
I guess it depends where you head the ball. I love heading the ball. That's my favorite thing. You're supposed to head the ball around here, and no, personally, it does not hurt to head the ball. Now, obviously, if you get hit or you try heading the ball above your head, and then, yeah, it probably will hurt a little bit. I know a lot of people have a tendency to close their eyes. I don't recommend closing your eyes while you head the ball, but it is definitely, if you can head the ball, it's key to the game. I think it definitely will help, definitely in these corner kicks, and corner kicks for us on defense, it helps as well. And I think it's a thing that most people should learn how to do. But if you learn how to do it right and you head it around this area, I think you'll be fine and won't hurt.
Yeah, I don't think it really hurts unless you head it incorrectly, but I think it's a good way to compete in the game more is with headers and everything. As long as you do it right, it won't hurt.
Yeah, and I saw a report not too long ago where they're actually encouraging younger athletes to stay away from it while they're still developing and that type of thing. But Obviously, if it's the same with anything, any sport, if you're trained correctly in how to do it, there's less chance of injury. And obviously very important to make sure all of our young fans watching are being taught correctly on how to accomplish some of these things. As you see, another corner that is cleared away temporarily by the Braves as Columbus State regains possession and works it back across towards center pitch. Speaking of corner kicks, we actually had a question come in from head coach, the gaffer himself, Lars Anderson, and he wants me to make sure I ask you guys about how much time UNC Pembroke soccer prepares and executes defending set pieces during training. He made a point to say that he's very proud of it and thinks that you guys are as well. What is that like for you guys of preparing set pieces on how to execute them correctly and also how to defend them correctly?
I think Coach is 100% right. We always prepare before every game, set pieces and corner kicks, and I think that was even one of our goals is being able to score on set pieces and being able to score on these corner kicks and defending these kicks. But the way we prepare for these before each game, it's everyone decides to prepare for them. Everyone wants to jump in. Everyone wants to have a part in being able to prepare for them. And then even more excitement is being able to earn one of these corner kicks and earn one of these free kicks and being able to have a positive impact on it or be able to finish it and score it and look at coaches and be like, we worked on that and we were able to accurately perform it. And that's honestly one of the best feelings, is knowing that what we put into practice, you see on the field.
Yeah. We work on them a lot, and I think, we practice different areas of where possible free kicks can come, so we know and can experience different types of locations where they could kick it, and just staying with your marks the whole way. They drill that into our head a lot, you don't want to be the person that loses your mark, and that's the one that ends up scoring on you because, they're going to get ratted on and everything like that. But so it's important to do that, stay with your marks, and we can keep that well. And for this kicking, we have they take a lot of set pieces and corners, and we did our job well and defended those, and they didn't score a single goal on a set piece in this game, so we prepared well on those.
As Ranchero dishes it out to her right back. We have another question coming in again from another one of your teammates. This one from Brianna Decoto. Your favorite team to play against in the Peach Belt Conference?
Favorite? Oh.
It's going to be like Columbus State or Flagler, because you want to play the best teams and you want to be able to compete with them. So I think, you get the most hype built up before those games, and then it's the adrenaline you have and the nerves, and I think it helps, and it's probably the most fun game to play against and do well.
I love the Columbus State, Flagler, North Georgia games. Those are the ones I see the most action in. So for me, those are more fun. A little more stressful, but more fun whenever you guys come out on the winning side. So those are my favorite, probably top 3 teams to play in conference.
Definitely Flagler, Columbus State, in North Georgia, like everyone said. I think North Georgia stands a little more out to me, just because it's all, for some reason, always being at their field or them always coming here, there's always some type of drama or there's some type of energy that just is a whole different level for the game, and I think everyone loves just to be able to prove themselves that we are able to keep up and play to their level.
And we'll ask Brianna too, since she's tuning in. Brianna, send us who your favorite team to play in the Peach Belt Conference is, so that we can share it with Riley, Gina, and Katie. We're very curious, and we greatly appreciate Brianna finally telling us how to say her name correctly after 3 years, as I was messing it up, as I thought it was Day Kuto for the longest time, and she finally corrected us this past year. Did you guys have it right, or was it just me that had it wrong for 3 years?
I never really said your last name, but I always thought it was Dakota.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always a question. I don't care how she says it.
No.
I don't think I'll ever be able to say it correctly. I know. I always forget which way is wrong.
We'll have to practice.
Oh.
As we're coming up on 17 minutes, 17, 12, 11, 10 left in the first half. Braves and Cougars still knotted at 0 here as the Braves are taking on Columbus State here at Lumbee River EMC Stadium. As a great opportunity there that just went wide of the post. Obviously for you guys, opportunities don't necessarily come that often, especially in big games. Like you're saying, you want to play the best. You want to take on Columbus State, North Georgia, Flagler. What do you guys do specifically to prepare for taking advantage of those opportunities and knowing that, you know, you can convert and that you can finish? What do you guys do to prepare for that?
Lucky for like practices, we'll do a lot of kind of transition plays so that we can work on like the fast break opportunities, because I think that's probably our best chance of scoring is on the fast break where it's more 1v1, you know, our striker versus their center back and then their goalkeeper. So I think for practice-wise preparing, we just work on those kind of transition plays and sending through balls and stuff like that.
I definitely think in our practices we worked on expanding the field, and we worked on the runs for our forwards of what ways and when we need to play the ball and how to play the ball. So I think being able to consistently practice the types of balls we're playing, like Katie said, the through balls and like the bigger balls, that is definitely the preparation that we had to help us be able to create those opportunities during the game.
We have another question coming in from, again, our UNCP Instagram account, at UNCP_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure to send your questions for Gina, and Riley as we head through this evening's match dating back September 28th as the Braves are taking on the Columbus State Cougars and what is always an exciting matchup. Question from Aspen: what is your favorite UNCP soccer memory?
I think it has to be the championship tournament when we won and having all the support there. The Army. Yeah, I think they're probably one of my more favorite memories. Having that group there for everything and then winning it that year, I think it made it perfect.
Yeah, I think 2017 with the Barney Army, being at every home game that she spent years, it's just kind of one of the like fastest through the games. And that was probably my favorite thing. Is like you're chanting your name or someone else's name after they do an amazing play. It's just, I don't know, that was just amazing. And we haven't had that kind of experience any other year. And so the whole 2017 season and having that be a championship season made it even better. But the Barney Army, I think, made a huge difference that year for us.
I think, again, the 2017 season, just after we won that game and we won and we celebrated, I just remember Coach grabbing the trophy and bringing it in and putting it on our dinner table when we ate as a team. And I think that was definitely one of the most exciting memories I've had with the team, just being able to show off what we accomplished and what our goal was for that season. And it's definitely something that is going to be a goal for the program for many years to come.
And again, we mentioned how many opportunities that Columbus State will wind up getting during this match on set pieces, corner kicks, etc. What kind of for you guys coming into this one? You're heading down, almost 12 minutes left in the first half. Still knotted at 0. You guys start feeling the pressure here, not at 0-0. You know that there's a lot of time left, and so you're pretty comfortable at this point. When you get an opportunity, take advantage of it, etc. But how are you guys feeling here, 0-0 with 12 minutes left in the first half?
I'd say I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, if it's 0-0, that's kind of the good situation to be at right now. You want to hold out at least till halftime, try not to let up any kind of goals or anything. So it's a pretty good feeling right now. I'd say a little nervous because you want to make sure that you guys kind of want to score and make sure you don't score, but I think this is a pretty good spot to be at.
I think when you play a team like Columbus State, every minute they don't score, it gives us more of an advantage. We're at our home field, and they're probably feeling even more pressure, like they should be scoring. They're going to keep getting frustrated. I think that's one thing that helps on us is we kind of keep our cool and we just keep playing the whole 90. And every minute they don't score, it's another good minute for us. Over 90 minutes this game.
Isn't it like every time we play Columbus State, it ends up being like 98 degrees?
That's fair. Oh yeah, City posted. Your sophomore year, junior year one day, it was so hot, or maybe your freshman, I don't know what year it was. One year we went to them and it was so hot.
We have a lot of heat issues after the game.
Yeah.
Can't find it.
I don't even know around, I get fine hot.
And we finally got an answer back from Brianna that hers are the same as y'all's with Flagler and Columbus State as well. So same as the Twins, there is her favorite to play. Obviously, your team is full of competitors, and you obviously want to play the best, and that's what makes playing in the Peach Ball Conference so exciting for you guys, and what makes going to the NCAA tournament and regionals and everything else so exciting as well. We apologize to everybody that was listening in with all the static that was going on. We changed microphones here, so hopefully the static will be better for everybody that's tuning in. And as we've mentioned, we've said how close that your team is and the bonding experience that the Midnight Run has created each and every year for each team. And we don't have a question for you, but from Christina Stevenson, she said, no question, just wanted to say hello. So know that your teammates are tuning in and watching you guys and are enjoying saying hey. And obviously you guys are super tight with your teammates, and you guys have had a serious impact on the program. Are you looking forward to coming back to games to watch Riley and Brianna and some of your other teammates kind of finish out their careers as well? I know that we've had some of your former teammates, a couple that are coming to mind are the Watkins sisters that have come back and watched games. Are you guys planning on doing that same thing to keep kind of the tradition of Pembroke soccer going?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna hope I have one of the bigger games, maybe senior night next year for them. It's gonna be exciting to watch them do well next year. Each and really compete.
Yeah, I think we're definitely coming back. No reason not to.
We're right down the road.
Yeah, it won't be far. Short trip. Probably more weekend games than anything else, but.
So obviously Katie and Gina have both finalized their post-undergraduate plans, and today would have been graduation. So congratulations to both of you on graduating your undergraduate career here at UNC Pembroke. We're sorry that we couldn't get to watch you walk today, but we're really looking forward to when that opportunity comes. UNC Pembroke has set the date for August, so we're really hoping that that's the case, so that we can celebrate with you guys and all that you've accomplished, as both Katie and Gina have made their post-undergraduate decision on where they'll be going. Would you like to share with everybody your plans for next year with graduate school?
So next year I'm going to Chapel Hill to go to their Ashland School of Pharmacy and get my PharmD from them. So 4 more years of school. That'll be good.
Next year, I'm headed to Wake Forest to get my master's in accounting, and hopefully we'll be graduating in December of 2021. So it'll be fun. So only like I think 2.5 hours away from Pembroke for me, so not far at all.
So one's doing a lot more school, and one's trying to do basically an expedited program. So what we're glad that both of you are continuing on with your education. Obviously, both of you had great academic careers here at Pembroke. We're very involved as UNC Pembroke. The main account, University account, actually highlighted Katie today on their account. And there we go, celebrating graduation. Very well done, Gina.
Thank you.
Very, very well deserved, as we've seen a lot of athletes getting very creative on social media with walking across their front porches and everything else. But like we said, we're very proud of all that you have accomplished and all that all of our seniors here at UNC Pembroke have accomplished. We're glad that we got to celebrate you a little bit at Golden Braves, but we're really looking forward to the opportunity to celebrate you guys in person, hopefully at an in-person graduation. As seconds tick down as we approach the 5-minute mark left in the first half, Braves and Cougars still tied at 0, as Morgan takes that one away and clears it, flips sides of the field, as Lexi is in pursuit and misses just wide right on a very good opportunity from Alexis Pittman. And we have another question in this one, actually, as we saw a great opportunity from Alexis Pittman. And obviously, Riley, you and Lexi went back and forth all year on most goals scored and had a great competition this year for, having that mark at the end of the season. But this question comes from Lexi again at UNCP_sports on Instagram. What goes through your head when you scored your goals? And Gina, if you want to date back to whenever your last goal scored was, you can. But Katie and Riley, we'll let you guys answer kind of what goes through your head when you score a goal. And we'll go on top of that. Is there a particular celebration that was your go-to, or is there one that you wish you would have pulled out during your career here?
Scoring a goal, what goes through my head when I score a goal, honestly, I don't know. I think I close my eyes when it goes in. I just don't believe that it happened at first. So it's definitely a very, I don't know, my go-to celebration was definitely randomly jumping up in the air and just putting my hands as high as I could. I definitely wish I celebrated the whole, my celebration could be the shoe cleaning. That's my goal this coming season, is I score so we can clean my shoes type thing. That's my goal, but it was definitely being able to score goals one of the greatest feelings when you're on the field.
Yeah, I think so too. And being a defender, I don't score that much anyway. So when I score, is probably the best ever. And I think, we're going to see it later on, but I think my biggest thing is I like to fist bump, like the air, like punch it and stuff. So we'll see that later on, but that's kind of how I do it.
And
Yeah,
Gina,
that's what.
Last time I scored was in high school. Yeah, I dislocated my finger, so I wasn't in goal that game. I don't remember if I did anything for celebrating. It wasn't against a very tough competition, so we beat them like 9-0. So every goal was just kind of like, I don't know. But if I could score a goal, you guys wouldn't want to see what would happen. I'd go crazy. In college, if I came running from the goal to score and make a corner, I wanted to one game. That's what it is.
Katie, is there a celebration you wish you would have taken out of your bank during your time here at Pembroke?
Oh, man. I think that the airplane thing is pretty cool when people run around like that, but I don't know. I've never really thought about that one too much.
Gina, obviously there was the big Stanford save with the goalkeeper during PKs, right, where she was very animated with her antics. Is there, obviously you didn't, when you had some pretty amazing PK saves and basically just stood up and like shrugged your shoulders and kept going. But is there something that you wish you would have done, kind of, if you could have a celebration as a keeper, like forwards and middies did for their goal celebration, what would you do?
I think, the famous basketball player that did this whole thing. You need to go forward without, like, fearing getting punched right after. Or getting, like, flag tackled the next play. That's what I would do. I've stared down some forwards before, but that's about it. Keeping that eye contact after the shoot, and then we'll start walking backwards, trying to intimidate me, so I just stare at them so they look away. That's about it. That's the only thing I did in college. Here it comes.
As we tick away the final 20 seconds here in the first half, a very high-paced first half with a lot of good opportunities, but neither team able to convert. As we'll go into halftime, still Braves 0, Columbus State 0, dating back to this game from September 28th as the Braves opened up Peach Belt Conference play for Parents and Families Weekend here at Lumbee River EMC Stadium on the campus University of North Carolina at Pembroke. We're here with Riley Searing, Gina, and Katie Ryan for today's UNC Pembroke Game of the Week. Again, if you have any questions, please submit them to our social media pages at UNCP_sports, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you get your questions in. We'll do our best. Director of Fan Engagement, Jen Smith, is here to submit all of your questions and make sure we get all of them answered. So make sure you get them in to us as we see some quick commercials from a few of our partners. We'll make sure to mention this as a lot of our partners, you see Bojangles here, Jersey Mike's, McDonald's, and Wing Company are all still open here in Pembroke, North Carolina during these crazy times with the COVID-19 virus. So please support our local partners and go ahead and get yourself a nice hot meal this evening as we are just passing dinner time here in Pembroke, North Carolina, at least for those of us that eat a little bit later. We have another question, and this will go for, we'll give this to Katie and Gina, the two captains from this past year. Obviously, you guys have been in a leadership role for a long time now with Brave Soccer, being captains this past year, but it feels like you guys have always kind of been the lead on the team in big moments. Katie never afraid to get the team going and really let the team know their effort level. Suggestions on how to be a good leader for the rest of the team?
I would say, like, lead by example and be vocal, be able to be encouraging, but still get, like, your point across and whatever you know how to describe it, but make sure that you're encouraging players to play better and, I don't know, just pushing the level of competition, setting a good example. making sure that you're there for everybody if someone needs something. I don't know. I think I'm saying the same thing. Just make sure that you're encouraging the best you can and leading by example. You know, you don't have to be everyone's friend is kind of a saying I've learned, but you know, you just gotta do what you need to do, make the team the best you can and try to just elevate the level of play, teamwork and the whole I don't know what you would say, like the team bonding, make sure that's good because all the team is gonna play better together. A team that is all as one.
As we recap the first half of action, Columbus State with 4 shots on goal. Gina coming up with all 4 saves there. UNC Pembroke with 7 shots on goal in the first half. Saves 2 apiece, 2 for Anchero, 2 for Ryan. Corner kicks, as we mentioned, that Columbus State really led the way in this category. They had 7 in the first half compared to Pembroke's nothing, but Braves doing an excellent job of defending the set pieces and making sure to clear them out or change possession. Fouls were Columbus State 6, UNC Pembroke 2. Braves playing very clean soccer at this point in the match. As although this is a very physical game, obviously a very competitive one too, Braves doing a good job of keeping pace with the Cougars of Columbus State. A lot more exciting soccer to come. Make sure to stick with us as Braves and Columbus State are underway here in Pembroke, North Carolina, dating back on the game from September 28th as Braves opened up Peach Belt Conference play on what proved to be another very exciting season for Braves soccer as they reach the NCAA tournament once again this past season. As a reminder, submit your questions to @UNCP_sports on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and while you're at it, make sure to follow us on all of the platforms as well. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and now on TikTok as well. Make sure to follow @UNCP_sports. You'll see Riley Searing on that TikTok page, so make sure to check that out as well. And as we're preparing for second half of action, is there something in particular or a halftime speech that you remember from Coach Anderson or Coach Padilla that we can talk about on here? Is there one in particular that you remember, or in particular, do you remember what this one was about? Tied 0-0 with Columbus State, heading into the second half of action.
I don't really remember this game's halftime. I think the most ones that stand out are usually the ones where we're probably losing and they kind of get on us, but I don't really remember this halftime speech. But I'm sure it was something like, we've got it and, keep holding on and we're going to get one in this half and prove ourselves, something like along those lines. I'm not sure.
Usually most halftime speeches, coaches always, Coach Padilla, I guess, stands out most. She always loves to be like, it's going to be 2-1. It's going to be 1-1.
Yeah.
Always make her little predictions, and I think that's always fun to hear. And Coach always loves to encourage all of us and lets us know when we need to step it up and when we don't. And the halftime speeches are definitely something that helps, I think, the team when we get off the field, just knowing where we need to be or where we're at. And they're definitely important when it comes to these games.
Yeah.
Katie, Gina, as we mentioned, you two are very competitive in everything and always seem to be separated by seconds or 1 point or 2 points. And so the question is, obviously with today being graduation or what would have been graduation, who had the higher GPA of the two?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not by much, it's like 5.1 difference,
Yeah.
but I take the win.
Yeah. I think it's at that line where, you know, you have those distinctions when you graduate. I don't know the orders, but Gina got the one higher up than me, so that'll be something I'm sure she'll hold against me for a good bit.
Katie, do you think it was fair? Do you think her classes were easier than yours?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
The chemistry department offers so much extra credit.
They do not.
The accounting does not.
It was hard. I'd like to see her take organic.
That's a breeze.
But
Our classes were hard.
Next question coming in again from our Instagram account at UNCP_sports. Do you have any superstitions before a game? And we'll ask this to all three of y'all. Gina and Katie, you just answered, so we'll start with Riley. Do you guys have any superstitions before a match?
I'm trying to think. I guess I always, for me, like, I have to have my headphones in. It seems like I'm not really, like, with the team during the beginning, but I always like to have my headphones in and just focus on myself and listen to, like, certain music that, I guess, hypes me up and just makes me excited for the game, prepares me, like, for the game. But I guess having headphones in and kind of ignoring everyone around me is what I do, and if I don't do it, it feels a little weird.
So for me, I'll put on, you know, people put on their socks and shoes differently. But I go like right foot and left foot and right foot and left foot, whatever. But kind of weird, but I tend to always just put like a blade of grass in my sock before I start a game. I don't really know why or when I started doing that, but yeah, I do that.
Just a single blade?
Yeah, just like, you know, like I rip one up and then I just put it in my sock, tuck it in there good. Yeah.
I don't have like a game day superstition really. It's just as long as I have a good warm up and I feel good. Or if I practice, I like to practice the day before a game. If I get some good like in goal practice, then I'm good. But that's about it. Oh.
Yes, Miss Searing.
I eat Jersey Mike's before every game.
Oh. So my superstition for this year, every game I eat Jersey Mike's was like a shutout, and then I didn't, it wasn't. That was my superstition this year, except for one game. I don't remember which one.
Mike's sponsor me.
But I got like Jersey Mike's every day this year. And you might order by heart. If I can even play the game today, yep. You want the Italian, yep.
I'm the Italian too, the 13. Oh, I miss it.
That was my superstition.
A great plug for our partner, Jersey Mike's, here in Pembroke, North Carolina. As we mentioned, Jersey Mike's is still open drive-through only at this point. You can call ahead or order on the app and get your Italian sub, just like our three here, Gina and Riley, getting the Italian sub at Jersey Mike's. A special thanks to them being a corporate partner of ours here with UNC Pembroke Athletics. Gina, do you get the same thing as Katie? Do you get the Italian also, or do you change it up?
I get the Italian. I think she usually gets the salt and pepper on hers, but I don't. So it's basically the same, but a little different.
I just add more stuff to it. Yeah.
Do you get it Mike's way?
I don't do that my way. I don't like the
Real vinaigrettes.
the oil vinaigrette stuff. I'm not a fan of that.
Okay, so take us through an order at Jersey Mike's since you're going through. Let's hear this as you're going down the line.
I got a regular number 13. On wheat bread, I get, oh gosh, I get lettuce, tomato, banana peppers, and mayonnaise. And that's it. And I prefer a good amount of mayonnaise. I like it when it oozes out the sides a little.
Riley, you're next, so we're gonna have to have you get it together here.
Okay. So, well, is it cold outside or is it hot outside?
It's the Columbus State game. It was pretty hot out.
Outside. I walk in, they're like, "Hey, Riley, you want number 13?" I get another 13, please, regular on white bread. May I have some mayonnaise, a little bit of lettuce, some oil, some salt and pepper, and some pickle outside. You know, and then they give me a drink and chips, obviously, but I hold the chips. I don't eat it before games, and then with my drink, I get water.
I get the garden basil sun chips every time. And the farm garden ones. Every time.
I like the sea salt. I don't know what brand they are, but that fancy brand.
Yes.
Yes.
As a reminder, as we get prepared for second half of action, to submit your questions for Gina and Katie Ryan and Riley Searing at UNCP_sports on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Make sure to submit your questions now so that we can get them in. Director of Fan Engagement, Jen Smith, is here, actively sifting through all of your questions, comments, and hellos, and we'll make sure to get them to UNCP Soccer and get them answered as best as we can. Do you all have any questions that you want to challenge everybody that's listening in on? Is there any questions that you're curious of?
I really think you know what our home unbeaten streak was. Yeah. Until this year Flagler game, which was rough due to the referee. That was rough.
So we're challenging all of our fans. Do they know what the unbeaten streak was here at Lumbee River EMC Stadium? That's the question, correct? So everybody listening in, please make sure you go to our at UNCP_sports and submit your answer of what the unbeaten streak was for the Braves at Lumbee River EMC Stadium as the Braves and Cougars get set for second half of action. And we'll ask you guys this, as you guys were all part of it. What does Lumbee River EMC Stadium mean for you all? I mean, opening it up with the new entrance and the new bleachers, new dugouts, all of that. What does it mean to you guys to have Lumbee River EMC Stadium and kind of for your experience as a student athlete and getting to compete on this pitch day in and day out?
I think being able to walk in on this field and before game day while the music's playing is just something like you dreamed of as a kid. Like, this was your goal, and it just shows like this stadium that was built for us to perform and compete on. It's just amazing. It just excites you even more for game days, and the way, like, even like the littlest things, just how like the grass is cut on the field is even satisfying. It's so fun to see the field being painted before game days, and I think the stadium itself just brings an excitement for us to be able to compete and play.
The same thing. obviously it must have done something because we did go on that unbeaten home streak, so it helped somehow in, ways of soccer gods. But I think having that nice stadium to play on, I mean, it's one of the best in the Peach Belt, probably in the region and everything. So it's a nice little boost to our program, and with the local support with that was really nice. We want to make it worthwhile, so I think we've done a good job doing that so far.
As Braves have already dished out another shot as Paulo Valbuena took one from distance to get the second half underway. Braves and Cougars not at zero as the excitement is just getting started in this match with some real fireworks coming up here later in this one for the Braves and Cougars. And Gina, we've seen your reaction throughout the course of your time here at Pembroke with kicking it off, and we've seen Katie take some of them for you. Is there an art to that for you with goal kicks? And have you we've seen like obviously some kickers that come in or some keepers that come in are able to clear the field. Obviously, you've done that a bunch of times as well. Is there an art to it, and do you know when you struck it really well compared to times when you haven't?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference in the way it comes off my foot. Goal kicks were like probably my biggest weakness coming in my freshman year, and even like I don't consider my senior year ones like all that great, but the amount of improvement I made just from my freshman year, senior year was huge, and I don't know, it's just more like practicing how Padilla always says, Coach Padilla always says it's like a free throw for goal kicks. Keep the same routine, the same swing, everything the same, and you'll be able to improve on it better, quicker. So that was kind of just the secret behind getting good at goal kicks. Is just keep that same routine every time.
As mentioned, some big fireworks coming up here later in this one as Braves and Columbus State had a lot of action as Gina comes up big there with a save right in the center of goal. Definitely some opportunities for both teams here in this match. A very exciting one, and excitement continues to build and grow the longer we go in this match. Do you guys feel kind of the excitement? I know, in the press box for us, we kind of feel it building. And when you're in the stands as a fan, you can feel it building. And a lot of that maybe is just nerves from fans. And obviously when you're playing, I think you're caught up in the moment a lot to where you don't necessarily feel all of it. But is that something you guys feel is kind of that pressure and anticipation building up during a match?
Certainly, I think it is, especially in the second half. When you look at the clock and it's counting down. You know how much time you have left, and when it's 0-0, you're just waiting for one of us, hopefully us, to put a one on the scoreboard first. So I think as more time goes by, the nerves get higher and higher, and anticipation gets bigger and bigger, and it just makes the game more exciting for us playing.
Yeah, I think as the game goes on, my adrenaline shoots up through the roof, especially against a team like this. Just because every time Columbus State touches the ball, it turns into some type of attack or some sort of, type of chance for them. So my adrenaline stays pumping usually the whole game for teams like Columbus State and Flagler and North Georgia.
like, we can't take the playoff. You can't take the playoff. You can't take the playoff. Like it could be a disaster. So. For game show.
Katie and Gina, we can see you guys analyzing the game and analyzing kind of placement. We've let every team that's come on for their game of the week do this during each of their matches. Would you guys like to kind of commentate your game or tell us what you guys are seeing right now as far as placement and setup and that type of thing? Feel free to take it on. And well, obviously, Jen has specifically requested that Katie commentates during her kick later on, so we'll let that happen. But if you guys want to go for it now, feel free.
With this corner kick that's set up, I think we pulled back a lot of numbers, trying to keep our team in the box kick probably had one forward up. Oh, I don't know. I'm not a pro like John Gross. Oh my gosh. Another point. And then on this corner kick, we're looking for that quick attack and that quick counter when they have a lot of numbers up and we have a lot of numbers back. We still have the one forward that should be up. But that's where we kind of look to get a quick counter attack when teams aren't expecting after corner kicks. And that's something I did since freshman year with Katie's after corner kick. If I grab it out of the air, I'm looking for that quick throw out to her. It works. Some teams are caught onto it, but.
And Gina, obviously being an accounting major, you're much more analytical. Do you do the same thing with soccer, being in goal? Are you breaking down kind of how they're set up throughout a match? And do you look at that? Do you prepare that way coming into a match? Or is it something where you kind of just wait for the scouting report and then go from there? Are you doing a lot of preparation of that nature on your own heading into it?
For some games I do, it depends on the competition and who we're playing. But there's been games where I'll look and I usually go to their school website's sports page and I'll find highlights from their soccer games. And I'm able to see like how Riley Clark has scored a couple goals already this season and kind of see what are the type of movements they've looked at. And I usually just see the highlights because that usually focuses on the teams and the goals that they've scored. So that's easier for me to look at, just focus on that part. And I think being a goalkeeper is all about angles. So if you can understand where you're at in goal and where the ball's at and just understand every angle and all the, like, how much room needs to be on each side. So it's very much, like, analytical, having to look at a lot of different things, looking at how they're set up just to understand how they rotate their forwards in and out, who's running in, and usually you can read the forwards' hips and their swings when they shoot. So if you can read that, you're pretty good. And with a good team like Columbus State, they're usually, where they're aiming is where the ball ends up going. So it's a little easier against a hard team. Oh.
And Riley, being a forward and having a keeper like Gina who's so impactful, do you pick Gina's brain on this type of thing? How she approaches you so that you have a better idea of how to take on other keepers across the league? Ral, you still with us?
Yeah.
Was that me or no?
Yeah. Do you pick Gina's brain as a forward with how strong Gina's been in the net for you guys? Do you pick Gina's brain to kind of know how to approach some of the top keepers in the league and in our region as you're preparing for games?
Definitely have. I definitely talked to you about PKs, just like ask. It's different. I know like the team has asked Gina like what she thinks each keeper like compared to her and all this stuff. So I think it definitely comes in handy having one of the top goalkeepers in the PBC and being able to have the help that we can have from her picking her brain. But at the end of it, it's definitely just like in the moment, seeing where the keeper is at the time of the goal or where to place it and how hard you shoot it.
Riley, do you have a particular type of goal that stands out to you? Like, do you prefer a header goal versus kind of just finishing it off of a cross, or do you like striking from distance? Is there a type of goal that you prefer that you say, hey, if I get it here, I know that I'm gonna finish. I know that I'm gonna convert.
I'm definitely more consistent when it comes to corner kicks or free kicks. I love just like I don't know why I love being able to time my run and find it on my head and just be able to head it in or time it and volley it in. I think that's one of my stronger suits. I think one of my favorites probably be from distance, being able to shoot from distance. I think people notice that more. People see that more in games, but I'm not as consistent when it comes to like free kicks or corner kicks. But I think what I'm best at is being able to find the volley header probably my best.
We have some guesses coming in on Instagram, people that have responded about the home win streak at Lumbee River EMC Stadium. Here are the guesses: 19 games, 11 games, 18 games, and 21 games. Katie, since you asked the question to everybody tuning in, can you inform everybody of what the correct answer is?
Oh, I don't know the actual answer. I do believe that it's 21 or 22, maybe. Do you bring some assistance on this one? Oh, that friend? Just Google it real quick. No, I do think it's in the 20 though. 20, 21, 22, maybe 19.
The range is growing on your answer, Katie. Yep, the correct answer is 21 on the unbeaten streak at Lumber River EMC Stadium. Katie, we'll give you like partial credit for. We'll give you that chemistry extra credit, I guess, since you were close to it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Found it. For sure.
So very well done and thank you to everybody that participated in answering Katie Ryan's question. A great trivia question, one that I'm sure John Gross will use on the broadcast this upcoming year. So make sure you keep that one in your back pocket, as John Gross likes to give out some free prizes during the broadcast throughout the year on the UNCP Sports Network right here on YouTube. So keep that one in your back pocket. Thanks to everyone that participated. The correct answer was 21 games unbeaten streak for Braves soccer here at Lumber River EMC Stadium. As Columbus State has found the back of the net, Columbus State Cougars strike first here at Lumber River EMC Stadium with 28:30 left in this one. Half of the second half left to go on a tough one, a 2v1 situation there. As Gina, take us through that a little bit. There, kind of obviously you picked it up, try to get your team right back on center line, try to keep the game moving, don't let them celebrate too long, and get the energy back on your side. Take us through that, though, a little bit of that situation and kind of your thought process there.
I think so. What I was attempting to do during that save, I learned about this like 3-goal situation. Basically, when the ball's on the end line, there's 3 different goals as a goalkeeper you're trying to defend. 1, the main goal, but 2 is kind of like from the goal post to the 6-yard box. And that's what I was attempting to do when I dove that way. But I think, I don't know, you saw Riley Clark in her hustle. She's had to slack half, basically slide in to get the ball into the back of the net. So I think she's just a player that's going to do whatever she can do for her team to get a goal, and she'll sacrifice her body to do it. After that, I just got the ball as quick as I can, bring it back to midfield, and let's just get the game going, because we're already at like 28 minutes left in the game, and we have to get back and find a goal so we can tie it up and then go and make it. So just a big thing of keeping the team's head up, and then we just can't give up after a goal like that scored, because we battled with them the whole time. It's been 0-0, so it's a game we can win, and we just got to get back in it and get the momentum going our way.
And at this point here, Columbus State has always been one of the biggest opponents for Pembroke in some very close games. It's only actually ended in a tie one time. For how many close games you guys have had, only ended in a tie one time, and that was actually the first time that Braves and Cougars faced off with 3-3 tie. Braves have won five of the matches compared to Columbus State's 19. However, a couple of these wins against Columbus State have been huge, one of them being the PBC title in 2017. Take us back to that. I mean, we talked a little bit about how much of a giant that Columbus State soccer has been to face off against. You go into the 2017 final. What was that like? I mean, you guys obviously know that you were the underdog in that situation. Take us back to that memory and that experience a little bit.
I think that game was just a big, they had to guarantee they get to the NCAAs. I think they were ranked nationally at that point. So that championship game they were already, I think, 3 times in a row, and they were looking for their 4th time in a row, being the conference champions, and we were the underdog coming in with nothing to lose. We knew that we had to win this game if we wanted to get in the NCAAs, and I think we had a lot more to play for that game, and everybody understood that. And the entire game, nobody gave up, nobody missed a play, and if you made a mistake, you were back on your feet and you were running after to get the ball back or doing something to impact the game. And I think that game was a huge team. I think everybody doing what they had to do, everyone did their job, and we got the game done. We finished it out, and we wrote out the rest of the game. I think we took an early lead, and it was all about keeping that lead and limiting any chance that they get that whole game.
As we see Katie Ryan's defensive skills coming into play. And Katie, a lot of postseason accolades for you this season, and well-deserved, rightfully so. What was that experience like for you of getting to kind of experience the conference, of being named All-American after working so hard for everything, and then getting rewarded for it?
I mean, it's big. I mean, I loved it. Obviously, it just kind of proves all the work that I put into it and everything. And when it was like being a solo American, it's, I put in the work on the field and also in the classroom. So I think, that's just a big testament of, the work I've done, all 4 years of this college experience and everything. And, being a defender, learning all 4 years how to compete against these girls who are top players in the nation. I mean, Riley Clark is a traditional scorer. She's gonna get a hefty amount of goals in this season, and other girls in the conference as well. They score a lot. Flacco has Sarah Sandberg, who was probably one of the Division II leading scorers. So it's always tough competition. You have to be able to adjust and just learn how to play defense against those kind of players, and then having the accolades that I did, I think it just proves how hard that I worked and how hard the coaches have helped me develop and become a better defender throughout my years here.
Everyone tuning in, another reminder, submit your questions, comments, and hellos to Gina and Katie Ryan and Riley Searing on our social media pages at UNCP_sports on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. While you're there, make sure to follow us on all the accounts as well, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Make sure to follow the Braves on social media to stay up to date on all things UNC Pembroke athletics. As I mentioned, this game is dating back to September 28th as the Braves opened up Peach Belt Conference play against the Columbus State Cougars, who started off the season ranked top 10 in the nation. A big matchup for the Braves. Braves currently trail 1-0 here at Lumbee River EMC Stadium with just over 22 minutes remaining in this match. Or in regulation, rather. You guys have already talked about the dedication and work ethic that you've needed to be successful coming in from high school into college, and then to maintain that success as you guys have done, adding 2 stars to the Shield, and Riley hopes of adding another one next season. We have a question coming in. What is the most difficult part of preseason workouts?
Preseason workouts, I think the third day is the most difficult day. I think first day waking up at 6 a.m. after our 12 midnight mile, that is hard, but the third day after you're a few practices in and you're sore and you have some meetings throughout the day and you're trying to stay awake, I think the hardest part is just to mentally keep yourself going and mentally understand that it's almost over and to just be able to keep showing your best effort, and it's definitely a mental thing throughout preseason.
Yeah, I think the worst part is the heat and the conditioning that we do at the end of the practices. Because, the 2-hour practices, we finish them with conditioning or agility, speed and agility, which still has conditioning in it. And then with the heat, it wears on you. You get tired super quick, and it's hot, and it's definitely a mental game, the entire preseason.
Preseason's definitely really hard, especially coming in as a freshman, not knowing what to expect, really. You get the workout plans, but it's not nearly as hard as, you come in, you're not expecting it to be like how hot it is, and having to do the 2-day practices. And I think as a team, it helps just bond the team because we're all going through the suffering together to get through preseason. But once you make it out of preseason, it's like a blessing. You made it through, you're getting ready to start the season, you're closer to playing games, and moved on to more just one practices a day, and it's a little less hectic, and you get more sleep after preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Gina and Katie, are you going to miss preseason workouts?
I don't think so. I think I miss being with the team, but not so much the workouts. I can skip that part.
I will not miss it one bit.
I like my sleep a little bit too much for that.
Braves approaching 18 minutes left in regulation here at Lumbee River EMC between Columbus State and UNC Pembroke Braves. As we mentioned, Columbus State very much in favor. This series is very much in favor of them. Every win against them feels like a big one. This one to open up Peach Belt Conference play, so really setting the tone for the year for the Braves soccer program. Are there specific team goals that you all set each year? A lot of teams say win the first Peach Belt Conference or win the first Peach Belt Conference game or match. Obviously win the conference, win the region, all of that stuff, right? Was there a specific goal that you guys set this year that that you were proud of achieving?
State getting into the NCAAs for a second time second time in this span was probably a big goal that we set and we achieved. So I think that was probably the best. But we set a good bit of goals, like I think 12 to 15 goals before we begin the season of things we wish to accomplish. I think we usually do pretty good job at accomplishing some of the. I think the NCAA one's probably the biggest.
We also reached our set pieces goal this year due to run a series, multiple headers, top corners, or free kicks, and everybody's effort during those. I think we set us, I don't remember what number exactly it was, but we have it written down. And I think we accomplished that this year. We scored 78 goals off set pieces, and then we set defensive goals every year about how many goals we allow off set pieces. And I'm not sure of the number now, but we usually go over those at the end of the season. And I think we were able to accomplish a good amount of our goals this year.
Having somebody that has the clean sheet record is definitely something that helps in achieving the defensive goals allowed, goals set by the team. As Ranchero clears one off the line. 16 minutes left in this game. 1-0 Columbus State over the UNC Pembroke Braves. But a lot of excitement building here in Lumbee River EMC Stadium as we see fans starting to stand. Some of that because of the heat and just how hot it was during the day and couldn't stand to sit any longer, but some of that is also due to the excitement of this game. Before we get to all the excitement, and I guess we could save this question for a little bit later, but another one that just came in. You guys have had some exciting memories and some very lasting memories with not only all of your teammates throughout your 4 years, Gina and Katie, but also with Coach Anderson and Coach Padilla. Is there a fun story that you have with Coach Anderson or Coach Padilla that you'll hold on to forever?
I'd have to say, well, I'll look into like my favorite memory with both of them. I think the 2017 championship, Lars was maybe the second or third person to help me off the running onto the field after we win. And that just like shows how committed he is to the team, how much he loves this team. He'll just run on after. He's focused on us after we win that game, all the work we put in. And then with Coach Padilla, I think it was after the shut-off game, hugging her after taking the record for the PBC. I was in tears after hugging her, and that was just an amazing moment because we both put in so much work to be able to receive that. She's put in multiple hours to help me, extra practices, extra training. Those are my favorite memories for both of them. The funniest memory would have to be the bus ride. I don't know where we were going. They both know which bus ride I'm talking about because it was very memorable with the driver we had. But it was very funny. The driver was just very funny, and I think we were all just trying not to laugh as much as we could, so that I don't want to share too much on the story, but it was just a very, very fun bus ride and experience that game. Because we sat near the front, like right behind Lars and Padilla, we saw their reactions the whole time, and then they would look back, and we started laughing, and then they started laughing, but we're trying to hide it, but that was funny, and that was this year.
I think the funniest thing, I think it was probably my freshman year, and I was sitting on the bench, and it might have been when we played Columbus State freshman year when we scored, or it was some game and we scored a big goal, and Lars started running down the sideline, and he likes to punch up the air. I think Brady had to dodge a little bit because he got a little too excited there. Almost hit her, but I don't know.
We saw Stacy Scott and Christina Stevenson back when we did the Twitter video 2 years ago now, where they had their impression of Coach Anderson talking about the shield, and obviously everybody got a good laugh at that, and just shows how close all of you are and how tight-knit the team is as a whole. Is there a impression that you have of Coach Anderson or Coach Padilla that that positively speaks to what they've meant to you guys? Or a favorite phrase that they say? Is there like a common phrase that they always use that you're like, yes, that's them? Riley seems like she's got one because she's laughing. So.
Okay. It's not common phrase to use this. Coach is just notorious for over-exaggerating everything he says. He gets the best part of practice for me sometimes because I can't even think. I mean, I should start writing a book of what he says because those just be things where just random things, not even anything important, and he'll just over exaggerate. Like maybe, what's an example? Oh, I don't, he just, they'll be, I guess, it'll be like he'll talk about a story of him running or something and somehow get to a point of where he would have fallen and made it to the emergency room and it's just all over the place. But I think that is one of the greatest things. Like coach has definitely, besides the whole serious soccer situations, he's definitely been able to make it a fun experience with practice and outside of soccer with his over exaggerations, and he knows what I'm talking about. So
Yeah. He's good on those ones.
I think for Coach Padilla, one of my memories with Coach is we always make these bets during practice, like we're just joking all the time, just little fun crossbar challenges to see who can make it on top. So far, I don't think either of us have even managed to hit the crossbar yet, so we'll hopefully that will continue next season, but those are definitely good memories with Coach Padilla.
As we are under the 10-minute mark here in regulation between the Braves and Columbus State Cougars. Cougars lead 1-0 over the Braves as we come up on the 9-minute mark here at Lumbee River EMC Stadium. And Katie, as we mentioned, you alluded to it earlier. Your big shining superstar moment is rapidly approaching, so we hope that you've been working on the commentary because once the foul is called, we're definitely going to turn it over to you to let you share kind of what's going through your mind, and we'll let you commentate the goal as well.
I'm ready for it to happen.
And knocking your sister over afterward. We definitely want you to keep the commentary going all the way through that.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
Riley, is there something you're most looking forward to this upcoming season? Riley,
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay, starting now. So what I'm most looking forward to this season is everyone in our group chat has just been working so hard and everyone's been putting in the effort and getting right by like this fall. So I think I'm really excited to see everyone that's coming in that's new and our returners and being able to see how they perform this year. And definitely because it's our last year in PUC, I think everyone's even more ready just to leave our names down, like write our names down for the last conference tournament. And I think we're most excited just to be able to be back with each other.
as we approach the 6.5-minute mark here in regulation and Peach Belt Conference opening play between the Braves and Columbus State Cougars. As the foul is called just outside the box, and Katie, we'll let you take it from here.
All right, so it's actually kind of fun. funny is the day before this game, Gina and we stayed after practice to just kind of work with herself. Really, we were just working on her goal skills. So I was setting up, we did her normal like a little warm up thing. I was taking some shots, and then I was like, I like that a little more fun. So I just kind of set up little free kick spots, and that was probably the one we actually did the most was from that spot right there. And I was making them on Gina and like maybe missing a couple, but. So when I had this game, I mean, my confidence was so high for this kick because I literally practiced this yesterday. And so, I think the confidence there was just so good. And knowing, oh man, just having 5 minutes left in the game, I mean, that's the best feeling right there, is tying a game that Columbus State's just trying to, I think, hold on to that win when they had the 1-0.
She stepped on my foot. Proof. You saw me in the video.
I landed on her foot and made her fall. Yes. But yeah, we were just trying to encourage each other right there, kind of saying like, let's go, like we have this game. I mean, that was just us, saying that this is gonna be our win right here. Like we're winning this. We're not gonna lose this game. We're holding on and we're gonna win. But I think that was one of the best feelings of this season was getting that free kick in and everything.
I think that kick shifted the momentum of the game completely. When there's 5 minutes left in the game and you're up 1-0, like Columbus State, when you're playing a team like Columbus State and they're up 1-0 and you score on them in the last 5 minutes, it defeats their morale. But I think it helped boost ours a lot and just added more momentum towards us going into the end of the game and then into the confidence we'll see shortly.
And Katie, you mentioned that the fist pump was your go-to, but that was the most emphatic fist pump I think we've ever seen in Pembroke soccer history. The emotion, kind of running through you, like you were saying, is a momentum changer. But what was that goal feeling like for you? You talked about you were confident going into it, but to actually see it go in is your confidence beforehand and seeing it go in are two different things. So what was that like for you?
I mean, I still kind of get the feeling watching it back. It's just like nerves are still building, you score that. I was a big smile, super exciting. And it's just you score and you're like, okay, it's just getting so much confidence for the rest of the game. You're so excited. So I think I got more tired celebrating that than I was for that whole game right there. It was exciting, a lot of energy and happy.
As a close call there, Gina, once again putting your body on the line, something you did a lot. And going back, was it last year when you had a dislocated finger or broken finger, right? And kept playing. What is that like? I mean, take us through that experience where you're, put your body on the line and keep going, and just shows how big of a competitor you are for the soccer program. But take us through that mindset a little bit of putting your body on the line day in and day out and still being ready to go the next time it happens.
So in games, it's a lot where my focus is pretty much just on the ball and the ball itself. So in that play you guys saw where I got taken out, I didn't even see that girl coming. I just saw the ball, and so I was going towards the ball. Didn't even see her coming at me. And I think the same thing on corner kicks. I'm calling keeper when I remember and stuff, and I'll go up. But I'm just watching the ball, and if someone runs into me, I know I'm doing, as a goalkeeper, if I'm going for the ball and someone takes me out, it's usually going to be called in my favor. So as long as I'm focused on the ball and doing my part, going up, catching a ball, and then holding on to it after getting hit, then I'll get the call in my favor, or they'll let it go and let it stay in my possession. But it's just, I think that's part of the sacrifices you make as a goalkeeper is you're going to get taken out a couple times. It's going to hurt, but in the big scheme of things, that's what you signed up for when you chose to be a goalkeeper. And going into college, you're going to get hit, you're going to meet bigger girls, and it's kind of more exciting, honestly. When you get hit and if you can hold on to the ball after getting hit, it's pretty cool. Hurts, but it's cool. The playoff is in the next play.
Yeah. All right, good.
And, I mean, you got taken out also in the 2017 championship game, also against Columbus State there. There's a great highlight of you going up. I think it was for a corner. I don't remember if it was or not, but you going up, grabbing it, and then getting a shot to the ribs there as well. Obviously, bumps, bruises along the way, but has there, for all three of y'all, has there kind of been a slide tackle or a collision or something that you really remember or felt the day after going into it? Obviously, soccer not necessarily as much of a contact sport as football, but definitely very physical and very grueling to go 90 minutes. And in this game, we go further than 90 minutes to play for that long. Is there a particular one that you remember that maybe that you're proud of just physical play?
For me, it was the Young Parents game in 2016 maybe or 2017 at Young Parents. I think I was going up for corner kicks and got taken down like 5 times in a row. But I was able to hold on to the ball, so that was just for me, it was a confidence booster and able to have good hands. But none of them left me too bruised the next game or anything.
For me, it's probably the Columbus State 2017 game. I did a couple slide tackles against Spano, who was on my side as a forward, and I'm there on that highlight that we're going for the 2017 thing, and I think that just looks really cool, and it was fun doing that. It's always good when you get the slide tackle and you actually get the ball and not, completely take out the player and get a foul. And then being inside the box is also a little more exciting.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mine is this season, and this is my yellow card, and I was running too fast, and I ran straight into the goalie. Probably not a proud moment, but I think it was funny, and I just remember my mom saying, "She didn't mean to," and I stuck with me.
Yeah, we had some people in the press box. I don't remember who it was. They were like, she's like a. It looks like she's a bulldozer in a China shop, but you just kept going, couldn't slow down fast enough, and took her out. We definitely remember that as we approach the minute mark is stoppage in play here once again, and you guys at this point are now without head coach Lars Anderson, and obviously we have a big injury here that was super costly for the rest of the season. But you guys have played, a man down before. I mean, there was a game last year, it was, I believe, where you guys were a man down and still wound up pulling out the win. Here you're without head coach Lars Anderson. Take us through that a little bit, and does it change your mindset at all, or does it fire you up more? I know, me being former baseball, right, when a head coach gets tossed, it's almost like a part of the game, but sometimes it's intentional to get your team fired up. Did that get you guys going at all? Does it change your mindset of saying, okay, now is the time that we have to take care of business and get it done, or what kind of goes through your process there?
When that happens, I think at that moment, you see how much Coach wants this and his energy for it makes us want it just as bad. And when he gets thrown out, we're all kind of saying, we have to finish this game and win it for him. And then, in this case that we just saw, Naomi got hurt and ended up being a season-ending injury. And so she comes off, it's a new game plan. We're going to play for her and Coach and try to get this win for both of them, kind of in their name and honor kind of thing, and make it worth it in the end of the game.
Did you guys have a guess? Obviously, you guys think you're going to win every single game, right, going into it. Did you guys have a feeling, or do you have a feeling you're like, hey, I know that this person's going to score the goal that puts us ahead? Like whenever they get the ball on their foot, or if we can cross a good ball in, we know that this person was going to take care of it this game. Obviously, it changes game to game, right? Everybody's got different feelings, but did you have a feeling of who was going to score for you guys in this game?
everyone was going to put in the work no matter what. They were going to try, and every play, everyone was going to put their best effort into it. I always, when I'm on the field, have 100% trust in our defense and 100% trust in Lexi. I think Lexi's always been someone I've watched play and I've seen grow as a player technically, and she always runs her hardest. She always works as hard as she can, no matter how tired she is. And I think Lexi's always someone that I'll be able to count on. And I know if I had to play a ball, that I could trust Lexi to be able to get there and finish it if she needed to.
And Katie, that was the one we alluded to earlier on during this evening's broadcast of you clearing that ball to prevent another corner with under 15 seconds left in the game and prevent Columbus State from having another opportunity. Something that you became very good at during your time here at Pembroke of making some of those crucial decisions to set your team up for success. But as we come into it, overtime period number 1, you're down. Naomi now, you're down head coach Lars Anderson. What are you guys thinking here going into the first overtime period? And obviously you mentioned the momentum shift for you guys, but what are you kind of going through? What's your thought process? And are you guys feeling like you're in a good spot here to take this one home?
Overtime, I think, because we know it's golden goal, it's always there's a little more extra pressure to it. Just knowing that we have to stay focused, and we have to make sure we get there first, or we outwork them, no matter how tired any of us are. We're at home, and we know that this is it. This is the last time, 10 minutes. We have to take it one by one, each OT. But I think knowing that coaches is there, and we have worked so hard this whole game to be able to Katie to tie it up, that we need to finish it out now that we've worked, we haven't given up.
Yeah. Along what Riley said, Owen is a coach, and then Owen is coach who had to step up and take over as the head coach for that overtime in the last 5 minutes of the game. We understood both coaches played crucial roles, and we wanted to win a game for both of them, win the game for Naomi. And I think one of our goals every year is to never lose in overtime. And so that's something we pride ourselves on. And I'm not sure when the last time we ever lost in overtime was. But I think that was a big part of our game plan. And going into overtime, we had confidence in ourselves that we would win. And that if we go into overtime, I think we trust in the conditioning and all the practices that we have that we'll be able to outlast our competition and come out as a winner.
As we head into the overtime period, a final reminder to go ahead and submit your final questions for the evening for Riley Searing and Gina and Katie Ryan at UNCP_sports on social media. Submit your questions via Instagram story, Facebook, or Twitter. Go ahead and give them to us now, your comments, questions, or hellos, and we'll make sure to pass them along to Gina and Katie and Riley here with us this evening on the UNCP Sports Network for the UNCP Game of the Week dating back to September 28th as the Braves took on the Columbus State Cougars as they open up Peach Belt Conference play for parents and families weekend. An exciting time for everybody that was in attendance and everybody watching. Definitely a game that's going to be remembered for a long time to come for the UNCP soccer program and everybody and UNCP soccer players that are a part of it, including these three that are here with us this evening. Is there a game outside of the 2017 championship, right? Obviously, that one's going to stick out to anybody. Is there a game outside of that one that, win or loss, that really sticks out to you as one that you would replay over and over and over again?
And maybe more more recently, I might say like Flagler this season, even though we did lose to them. It was probably a super exciting game because they were nationally ranked when we played them at home, and they were undefeated, and we did go up 1-0 on them. And then, people can take the game how they will. We think that we should have, deserved to win that game in the end, but I think that's a game I probably would like to play again and play as, replay it all the time.
Riley, is there a game for you that you would want to replay over and over again outside of the 2017 championship?
All of them. I think all of them are just good games, but I think for me, North Georgia games have always been just games that we've always just it's just unlucky. I guess if I could have a go around with North Georgia, I would play those games again and again, just because I know we can compete, and I know that it's just some of those games just frustrate me because I know we're on top of things, and some things don't go our way, some things do, but with all the North Georgia games, I think I would replay those and just be able to I guess beat them. I mean, that's all I could really say about it, is just beat them again.
I think that's a very good answer. We always want to beat every opponent we play, and we enjoy going back and rewatching games. And I'm sure for you, Riley, you want to go back and rewatch every game, but especially every game that you scored in, which happened a bunch this year. Always a good feeling. Always fun to watch. As we get the overtime period underway, first overtime period, as Riley mentioned just a couple minutes ago, it is golden goal, meaning whoever scores here first will be declared the winner of this match. Braves hoping that it'll be them, and spoiler alert for everybody that hasn't seen this one, it is the Braves, and in very exciting fashion, Riley and Katie linking up to put this one away. But very intense, high action overtime period. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in with us tonight on UNCP Game of the Week. UNCP Soccer taking on the Columbus State Cougars in Peach Belt Conference opening play dating back to September 28th of earlier this season.
Pretty sure this overtime, Coach Padilla literally looked at me and was like, "You're gonna score." I'm pretty sure she predicted it.
I think she did. That's what I remember after the game when you guys were talking about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she ran up to me and she was like, "Told you." Yeah, that was a good moment. That was definitely a good moment. I don't know, the ending of this game, everyone's just, it's just so good.
And this is one that I've definitely gone back and watched, and Jen has too, as we're both big marketing people. Jen, director of fan engagement, and just the noise and excitement that comes out of the crowd that was here when this goal was scored. Obviously, Katie's goal, the excitement level was there, but a game winner is huge. And Riley, you had a bunch of game winners this year for the soccer program, but the noise level and kind of enthusiasm of an overtime game winner, and kind of almost the relief that comes along with it is a huge marketing element for us. But for you guys, is that even more special in overtime? You mentioned one of the goals is not to get beat in overtime, but does that kind of stand out to you guys as far as that experience of having a game-winning goal and knowing that you kind of sealed it?
For goals, I think the one thing that sticks out to me most is Coach would always say, the faster we score, the faster it will be done, because he knows all of us are exhausted, and we've been putting in the work. So I think, like you said, the relief, it comes with the relief and it comes with just all the excitement. So game winners are definitely something that it will like leave a leak is lifetime. Like we keep going back and watching them, and especially with this game winner, I think everyone was just so relieved and just knew that we never gave up and we didn't stop on any plays, and I think that was one of the best feelings with these game winners.
Winning this game set the tone for the season against the PFL conference, beating one of the top teams that's been number 1 or 2, I think, every year, or since my freshman year and probably before then, and then coming out with a win as the first conference game against one of the top teams in conference. I don't think you could have asked for a better start to the season, and doing it in overtime just adds even more excitement.
Yeah, and fun fact here at this point, I was actually outside of Lumbee River EMC Stadium helping the athletic training staff as their hands were full. As we mentioned, the season-ending injury, we're going to be excited to have her back this upcoming year with Naomi, but also somebody had a bloody nose as well here in the overtime period. So I actually got sent out to the road to help make sure with the new traffic pattern that the ambulance actually knew where to go. So I'm really hoping that Coach Anderson and Coach Padilla actually let me inside the stadium next season for any overtime games instead of kicking me out. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Hopefully they win before overtime.
I think all of us will be big fans of that compared to exerting extra energy. As the Braves set up here for a crucial corner kick, hoping to put this one away. And Katie, you took majority of the corners this year for the Braves. Are corner kicks something you enjoy doing, or something you were just naturally good at, or?
I enjoy doing them. I think, my job for taking a corner is just to put the ball in a good position for any of my teammates to try to finish it or create an opportunity from it. And I've gotten better at it. It's not something I've always been good at, so I've gotten better throughout college at them. And this year, it was just kind of my go-to was to do these. And I just try to put it in the best position.
That's like the perfect ball you could ask for, too. Make it to the keeper has to come out. She's out of position. And of course, Riley's there following it in. She's got great timing on every corner this year, every corner, every replay, every free kick.
As Riley came flying in from outside the 6 to put that one in the back of the net, as Braves do get the golden goal and close this one out. A 2-1 victory over Columbus State as they go to shake hands as the victors here in this one, as the Braves open up Peach Belt Conference play with a victory. And a crucial win for you guys, and really setting the tone, as we mentioned, as hugs all around from Coach Padilla and the rest of the team. Before you guys thank the fans, a very cool tradition in soccer that you guys always thank the home crowd for coming to support you guys, something that we really appreciate to help them keep coming back as well. As we mentioned, the Braves go on a tear the rest of the season, making it to yet another NCAA tournament down in St. Augustine, Florida. Dealt with a bunch of injuries this year and still were able to accomplish their goal of making it to the NCAA tournament. Katie, Gina, Riley, any final thoughts before we sign off here this evening? Any final thoughts on the game or season or anything Katie and Gina, you'd like to say to the team for next year, wishing them luck or best wishes or anything like that?
Just play your hearts out, play every game, like it's your last, and, don't quit. And you guys are going to do really great. I'm excited to keep up with you guys. Play with your heart.
I'm excited to watch you guys next year. I think you guys are going to be a really strong team. Looked at the recruiting class that Lars and Padilla have put together, and I think you guys are definitely going to be a top contender for the Peach Belt next year. So just keep working, go into preseason hard, and thank you to Brave Nation, UNCP Sports, Coach Lars, Padilla, my mom and dad for helping us be college athletes and letting us play 4 years there and leaving a mark on the school.
Riley, any final thoughts on the evening? You had the game-winning goal once again, a great header to put things away and put the Cougars away. Final thoughts on the goal scored and the evening?
Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to say, that final goal, I remember being able to run out and hug Coach, even though he wasn't supposed, we were outside the field, and that was one of an amazing moment. And I guess my last things are to say that we're going to miss Katie, and we're going to miss Gina, and what you guys have brought to this team, and I'm just so excited for this fall, and just thank you for everything.
I miss you guys too.
Once again, congratulations to Gina, Katie, and all of the seniors on completing their degrees. Here at UNCP Pembroke, as today was scheduled initially to be graduation. Unfortunately, graduation in person has been pushed back to August, but nonetheless, they are done. They are UNCP graduates as Gina grabs her cap once again. To celebrate. A special thanks to them. The PBC shutout record that will be hers for the foreseeable future. Katie, Scholar, All-American, both finishing with tremendous careers. Riley, the leading goal scorer, coming back for the Braves coming into next year. Brave soccer is going to be fun to watch as they anticipate the 2020 season, as do all of us, as we are all excited for sports to return to the world during these crazy times with the COVID-19 virus. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here this evening on the UNCP Sports Network for our game of the week as the Braves took on Columbus State in the Peach Belt Conference opener during Parents and Families Weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.